I'm going to tell the story before we forget. So, I was part of this class. This was actually the last, during this class, I got offered a job to tutor for Intro to Programming and other things. So, this class, it was Intro to Unix and Linux. That was the name of the class. And I remember I went in there, it's like a 2, maybe 3 unit class, and the teacher is just this. So he was telling, how do I explain it? So, I sat in the front row, and there was a computer in front of all of us, because obviously we're doing programming. And the teacher is, telling the story, explaining what we need to do, and then it comes time to do our homework before we go. There's a lab time, so we can use that lab time to just do the homework before we go home. So I just, pop it open, look at the homework, and so you're just press this button. So first we have to open up Unix, and that's, showing how to, edit cat files and stuff like that. And it's just, type CAT and press enter. Type this thing, press enter. Type exit, press enter. Very precise, you cannot mess this up. All you have to do is read the bolded text. I'm like, okay. So I tell the teacher, yeah, I just did it. He's like, all right, cool. And he writes down that I did my homework. He then has, every week we would have a quiz on the chapter. It would actually, no, every 2 days. Every day we'd have a quiz on the chapter. So this was, I think, a Tuesday, Thursday class. So, yeah, so every day we'd have a quiz on the chapter we just covered the last day. And it was just 20 questions. Not hard questions, but every once in a while I'd mess up. But the thing is, we would self-correct. So if I saw I was wrong on number 3, the person next to me would be able to note that I'm wrong on number 3 or something. And the person next to me was like, dude, just erase what you wrote and put the correct answer. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna cheat. So I did cross mine out and put the correct answer. And when I got back, he's like, oh yeah, thanks for being honest, 100%. He did not care that I switch out the answer after hearing the quiz. I'm like, okay, wow, this is really just an easy A class. This is one of the easiest classes I've taken. I'm kind of worried about how easy it is. So we get to the midterm. And so our midterm is coming on Tuesday. And so it's Thursday. I'm just kind of nervous. And he's like, all right, so you have a midterm. It's going to be a 50-question multiple choice. So anyways, everyone get out your notes. I'm like, okay, got my notes. And he pulls out a piece of paper. It says, question 1. Linux is blah, 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 blah. A, this. B, this. C, or C, this. Now, the answer is B because of this. Everyone write that down. I'm like, whoa, what? He's giving, this is the teacher basically giving us the answer sheet. Literally, he talked through the entire test and gave us, oh yeah, the answer to number 1 is B, then the answer to number 2 is C. I could literally not know anything and just write B, C, D, C, B, D, A. And as long as I remember that pattern, I have a 100% on that midterm. I'm just like, okay, this is, why is he doing this? This is too much. I knew it was easy, but this is too much. So, Tuesday comes around, breeze by it, do the entire 50-question test in 5 minutes. Don't feel any bad. I think there was a part where it's a fill in the blank, and I mixed up 2, so I got 96% instead of 100%. So, we all come in Thursday, and the teacher comes, hey guys, so, if you made a mistake on one of your questions, feel free to correct that mistake, give the correct answer, then bring it back to me to show you. I'll give you half credit, so you only lose 1% instead of 2% for each wrong answer. I'm like, okay. I'm just kind of laughing at how ridiculous it is. So he's like, all right, here's the pile of all the tests. You guys, just come up and grab it. And he sets the pile on the desk next to me because I'm one of the 1 people sitting in front. And so I look over, and the very first test on the top is a 48%. Despite everything, the guy missed 26 questions on that midterm. And then that guy comes over, picks it up. Under it is a 32%. So, if you exclude the 4 people in front, me, the guy who I hang out with, and the 2 on the other side, the 4 of us, I think it was a 100, a 98, a 96, and a 94. So, all of us were good. If you take us out, the average in that class was a 42%. in a multiple choice exam that we had a week to study with the answer sheet in front of us. With the answer sheet in front of us. I still do not understand what in the world happened. I still do not understand what in the world happened. And so, as I said, I'm like learning to tutor. I'm like signing up for all the stuff because one of the other teachers wants me to be a teacher for Intro to Programming. And suddenly the person who's going to be my boss walks up to me and is like, "Hey, you, hey, I heard that you're part of the Intro to Unix and Linux class." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "I hear you're doing really well." Mm-hmm. So, and they're like, "So, we're actually having issues because, like, over the course of several years, like, everyone has been failing that class. We've been trying to do all this stuff. If you're a tutor and you're succeeding, we would love to have you tutor that class. The college needs it. The college," and I'm just like staring at her, just in absolute horror. I specifically remember, I just looked at her, like, this is going to be my boss. I just looked at her with a dead face, just like, "Ma'am, I wouldn't know where to begin with helping those people that are failing that class." And she just kind of a little shocked at my dedication. She's like, okay then. And so I couldn't tutor, and so like next semester that class was no longer offered because too many people were failing that class. They could not afford to keep going with that class. That freaking easy A of a class, everyone failed. I still, to this day, do not... I know one person apparently was playing Fallout New Vegas the entire time. No, Fallout 4 came out during that semester. He downloaded Fallout 4 onto the computer. I specifically remember that. I have no idea what the rest of them were doing. I have no idea. I feel so sorry for that teacher. I have no idea what happened there.